So, as it turns out, you guys, uh, Harry and Meghan have not publicly endorsed a presidential candidate, right? And that's true. I just read that in Town and Country, but I didn't need to read it in Town and Country because I was thinking the same thing. And in fact, when they did not show up at the Democratic National Convention, I was quietly surprised because I know that Meghan has expressed support for Vice President Harris. I know that her Vice President Harris has also extended some kind words about Meghan on social media. I think I read that. I didn't actually see what she said, but I read that. And I saw Meghan and Harry interact with the Vice President's husband, Doug Emhoff, is it? And the way that he shook Meghan's hand to me showed a lot of respect for her and regard for her. So I know that they're cool. And of course, we know that Meghan and Harry are still cool with Oprah because Oprah recently um they were with Oprah recently at Tyler Perry's birthday bash and possibly even before. Wasn't there something else where they were with Oprah? There was something else I don't remember, but recently they were photographed with Oprah. Oh, at the Summerland opening of the bookstore Godmothers, and Harry referred to Oprah as his godmother. So yes, okay, so that put that whole thing to rest that they are no longer friends with Oprah and Oprah no longer likes them and this, that, and the next. So Oprah was at the Democratic National Convention and in fact she she spoke at length at that convention in support of Vice President Harris. And so I was kind of wondering why didn't Vice President Harris invite Harry and Meghan to speak at the Democratic National Convention? I think that would have been the most electrifying thing of the night, other than the Vice President herself. So, as it turns out, I just don't even know what just happened. So, we had to just like re up this. Okay. So, Harry and Meghan's decision to be less vocal than in 2020 could well have been taken with the backlash they received then in mind. Members of the royal family are expected to remain politically neutral in the UK, and while the Sussexes have walked away from working royal life, they are still members of the family. Oh, wow. Well, that one is a big news flash. They're still members of the family. Is the family aware of that? I mean, they're still members of the family. Okay. Well, anyway, so I guess that's it. So Harry and Meghan are now kind of back in, they're not back in the family, but they're slowly inching back in because if you consider William's beard and you consider the 40th birthday greetings to Harry from both William and Charles, then you might say, and then you had Harry and William were at the funeral of their mutual uncle-in-law, and William did not inform the press immediately about this, right? You might say that the winds of change might be slowly blowing, you guys. The winds of change might be slowly blowing with the Sussexes and the rest of the royal family. And Harry's definitely making more frequent trips to the UK as well. He'll be there, this week or very soon. And yeah. So that's it. So this is just a 1 minute video, which is very short, admittedly. But I mean, what else can I possibly say? I mean, it's you know, this political thing with Vice President Harris, she's doing very well. Vice President Harris is doing very well in the polls, except I saw that she was down by 25 points among independent voters, which could be a problem because we know that, Trump royalists are going to vote Trump, and Democrats mostly are going to vote for Harris. Then you have some traitors who are going to cross party lines either way, I guess. And those independents are going to be very, very important. And so when she's down 25 points, I mean, it is cause for some alarm. But I think most experts are saying that, there's still a lot of time between now and November 5th. And they expect that these independents will make up their mind, even though most people would have expected that after such a winning performance in the debate, that people would have been able to make up their minds from that. But apparently the debates, even though Harris performed so spectacularly, were not really such a mover and shaker as far as those polls as people expected them to be. So it's really going to come down to, yeah, where do these independent people vote? And 25% of them, no, I mean, Harris is reportedly 25% down according to some polls. I don't know if it was Gallup or whatever, some poll that was fairly reliable. Okay, so it's now September 21st, and you know how I started this whole thing out back in August, and I'm like, this is a failing ticket. There's no way they can win, Harris and Walsh. And, look, what do I think today? Look, talk to me on November 6th is what I still say. I think it's possible she could win. I think she's doing very well in the polls. She has surpassed all of my expectations. She did phenomenally in the debate. I still don't trust at the end of the day that people on November 5th are going to do what they're saying they're going to do, as of today. What the polls are suggesting. I don't trust the polls. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I don't trust the polls, and I'm still pessimistic, and I still think Trump is going to win. But maybe I'm less convicted. I'm less sure, right? It's not so absolute as it was the day that Biden dropped out. I see that a lot of people seem to mean well, and they want to be open-minded, and they want to give Harris a chance, but more than that, they are terrified of a second Trump term, really. So it's not even so much voting for Harris as it is voting against Trump. And so she might pull it off. I hope Vice President Harris pulls it off. And I want to reiterate again so that we are very, very clear. I don't object to a Harris presidency. I don't believe that Harris is any less qualified than any other candidate for president who has ever run in the history of this country. That's not it. I think she is as qualified, and in some cases, she's more qualified than any other candidate that has run for the presidency of the United States. I just feel like, as I've said before, that the country is a very sort of macho, man-centered, man-centric country, especially when it comes to their politics, and it's very white male oriented. It's just a fact, right? I mean, it's not that people are, sexist or racist. It's just what people have become accustomed to and what they are comfortable with over the centuries. And I think that Donald Trump is enough of a cult figure and cult leader that, him against Harris this year was too much of a political risk for the Democrats. I really felt that it would have been safer to go with a male candidate, a dynamic one, Waltz and the other, I forgot the name of the other guy, would have been a good ticket as far as I'm concerned. But look, Harris is holding her own. She's holding her own. She's not backing down, and maybe she'll surprise me. So, let's see what happens, right? Let's see what happens on November 6th, right? You better tell me that I was wrong on November 6th to doubt Harris because the alternative, it's unthinkable. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.